So I want to share my biggest goal I've ever set for myself. And that is setting a goal of building a $1 billion company. Yes, billion with a B. Now, as I say that, I have like 80% excitement of butterflies in my stomach, 10% nerves, and 10%, how am I going to do this? But I'm excited, and I want to invite you to look over my shoulder as I go on this journey. Now, I am talking about building a $1 billion company with Property Llama. Now, I think a lot of you know about Property Llama. You've seen the growth of it. We've gotten amazing traction with it. But that is our online investor dashboard for real estate investors. And it's been critical for my own investments, for our clients, and it's brought so much clarity to investors. And the more we put people through there, the more we talk about it, the more we develop it, the more excitement we get, the more great feedback we get from clients, and the more momentum we build. Well, now we are hitting a critical mass standpoint where we have so much demand in the pipeline of people wanting to use this system, transact, and do all this stuff that we're looking down the next few months like, holy smokes, we cannot handle this. And that is like the best problem to have in the world as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is like, wow, we have a lot of demand out there. We got to scale up to handle this. So I'm very proud to share that we have started raising money for Property Llama. We need to bring in money so we can fund the growth of it, so we can handle all this demand. We don't have the money to go out there and bring the idea to the marketplace or go out there and develop it. No, we already done that. We need to scale up and staff up so we can handle all this demand. So why am I sharing this with you on the podcast? Well, it's a couple reasons. The heart of it is around a very core business and marketing principle of mine, and that is document, don't create content. Now, that's a philosophy, a saying that Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary Vee has really coined the term, but I have used that through my businesses for about the last 21 years now, both here in Denver for real estate investing and my previous businesses. And I've had so many people over the years say, hey, Chris, how do you do this? How do you do this? How are you doing this? And I genuinely love teaching. I really love sharing success. Why? Because the more I share and the more value I get, karma pays me back. Now, it's not always a direct one-to-one. If I give you value, if I give you 1 unit of value, I don't always get 1 unit of value directly back from you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But from an overall, like, higher philosophical, point of view, if I put it out there, karma pays me back. So I want to share this so other people can learn from what we're doing. We're going to have a lot of successes. We're also going to stumble some. That's just part of growing. That's part of being successful, is stumbling some. So I want to be very transparent in how we're doing it, how we're launching it, and inspire people to learn how to do this themselves. Hopefully inspire you to go out there and do something. And also at the same time, as we're raising money for Property Llama to grow it, I also need to recruit some very talented people to help us execute this vision, to help us go up to this next level of scale up. Now, if you've been a regular listener on the podcast for the last number of years, you'll hear different times I go out there and throw a job description or throw an idea out there. And I'd say about 80 to 90% of the time when I throw the idea or I say, hey, I need this or I need this out to the community, 90-ish% of the time, I get the right person back. So I'm doing that again here. So I want to document what I'm doing so you can learn from it and hopefully apply it to your business. So it can inspire you to go out there and make bigger strides in your business. But also, I want to go out there and grab some really talented people to come join Property Llama, help us go out there and grow it and scale this vision. So I'm inviting you to come look over my shoulder, our team's shoulder, for our webinar on July 13th at noon Mountain, to come watch us present the business plan for Property Llama, to come watch us raise a few $1 million to help us hit the go button and really accelerate the Property Llama growth. Now, that registration link will be in the show notes. If for some reason it's not there, you can't find it, shoot me an email, text me. I am happy to share it with you. I want to get lots of people on there, again, to learn. And also, I want to recruit some really talented people that want to get into real estate or that are attracted by what we're doing or want to be part of the vision we are building here. So the more people that come, the merrier. Now, a question I get a lot of times, I've been talking to people about this, because we already have investors, we already have capital coming in and people wanting to invest. And this has actually been unsolicited for a while. People say, hey guys, if you ever raise money for Property Llama, put me on that wait list. Well, we're starting to connect with our friends, our colleagues, the people that know what's going on, and we're already getting investors lined up on here. But with some of those conversations, we've had the internal conversations and with colleagues and our potential investors out there of, well, hey guys, why aren't you to go down the VC or venture capital route? I don't have like a super scientific answer for you, but I'll share my experience with you. So my reality, my world, and this is me as Chris Lopez, the individual Chris Lopez, the last 21, 22 years of lots of successes and quite a few failures as well. I don't know the world of VC. I don't know that world. What I know is really two things. I know how to bootstrap companies, and I know how to build things up from the grassroots with the community. So it's bootstrapping and grassroots with the community. So I know that. So why would I go out there and start talking to VCs when we don't know that world? And here, I'll be transparent. We have talked to some VCs. We've had VCs actually approach us because they're like, hey, I've heard you're doing this. Can we come have a conversation? Can we come meet? Can we come up? We're like, sure, absolutely. And as we talk with them, I don't know, the magic isn't there. It just doesn't feel right. And so I'm really going off of two things off here, besides like what I know is a reality for me that, hey, I can bootstrap and I can go grassroots. I can grow things that way. As we talk to VCs, it just, it doesn't feel right as we talk with them. I'll share a story with you, and I can't give names on here, but everyone will know these names if I ever mention them, but I can't publicly share them. I've had some really interesting conversations with other real estate entrepreneurs who have taken capital or have worked with some of these really big, tech companies out of Silicon Valley. And, they're working with, local deals here in Denver, other markets. And they share, they're like, man, like we're having success, but it's just like square peg, round hole. And one of the guys I was talking to, incredibly successful gentleman, was telling me about how like 6 months into it, he's like, hey, we're having success, but just like we're kind of just not seeing eye to eye. He said, you know what? I'm sitting around with the board of directors here. I'm sitting around with the team of this huge company. And it clicked with me one day. He said, all these guys and girls on this board, they live in San Francisco and they're renting a penthouse. They're renting a condo. They're renting a house. They have actually never bought a primary residence themselves. They don't own rental properties themselves. And so that right there gives a big disconnect. Why do I want investors who are going to have influence and some control over the company because they're able to talk to us? They don't have the reality. They don't know the local markets. And they also don't have that real understanding of real estate. Because let's be real. I mean, you guys know this. Like, you're not going to go out there and learn real estate investing by just reading books and listening to podcasts. Like, they're a great resource, but it's one of those things. Once you take all this information and then you get your first rental, your fifth rental, your 10th rental, reality hits, plans change, and it's just a big game to learn. And real estate's a hard game, and it's hyper local. It's a slow moving beast. And that just does not pair well with big tech in some other city with these people who have no experience in real estate. So just for all these reasons, like, hey, it doesn't feel right. And then, I turn around to some fellow colleagues and some fellow investors, like, hey, I want to be a part of this. I want to invest. And they own rentals. They invest. They've done deals. Like, they understand it. They get it. And here's the other thing too. Like I said, I know bootstrapping. I started all of this 6 or 7 years ago when it was like the podcast and the early days of Envision Advisors, like the pre-days before Envision Advisors was a thing, which is kind of like me and Charles Roberts. All this started with $10,000 in a bank account. I took money from another business. I put $10,000 into an Ally checking bank account and said, hey, this is my seed money to grow this. And I know how to bootstrap it. And I turned that $10,000 into Envision Advisors, which does, $90 to $100 million a year in transactions. We have been like the fastest growing team at Your Castle Real Estate. We're also the most efficient team at Your Castle Real Estate. In addition to that, that $10,000 is that same money that helped grow the podcast, the websites, the books, and eventually launch Curtis Street Media, which is really this like behind the scenes marketing machine that's helped grow Envision Advisors. And that's also been able to help grow and fund and start growing Property Llama. It's been a key part as we've raised money for Ironton Capital from like $0 to $40 million in 1 year. And all of this, now I am not taking full credit for this, but all of this started with me bootstrapping and $10,000 in an Ally checking account. And I share that with you because I want you to know, like, that's the reality I know. That's how I feel confident, but also why it's such an attractive investment to investors out there and why we've had so many unsolicited interest from other investors because they've seen this. And when we raise the money for Property Llama, it's not to go out there and say, oh, we got this idea, let's go spend $10 million to develop an idea and program something. No, we already have software that works. We already have software that we've been using in business for a couple years now. We don't need to go out there and get some mega office space. We don't need to go out there and do all this crazy expenses. No, like the vast majority of that money is going into support, sales, and marketing and helping us scale the stuff that really matters. So we have this like proven track record, both on Property Llama and with the team associated, not just me. And I'll give you more about the team members in some future podcasts as we talk about this on the webinar, start introducing to the whole team behind the scenes, because this is not a one-man Chris Lopez show. I'm in the spotlight a lot of times, but it's because I have an amazing team that's helping us grow all of this. And so it's this very attractive investment for a lot of people. It's like, wow, you've done this, you can do this. And we also have that attitude like, this isn't just money, other people's money we built on. No, this has been my own money. This has been other people's money that are putting sweat equity, that are earning real equity in the company. Like, we appreciate every single dollar that flows. We stress over every single dollar in expense. Hey, is this the best dollar we can spend here? What can we do here? Is this the right hire? Is this the right person? Is this the right expense? Like, we have that understanding. And it's very different when it's your own dollar versus, oh, here's, $10 million from Silicon Valley or whatever it is. Like, it's just very different. So here's the other thing too. Like, I look at this and we're talking about, hey, how can we go out there and scale this? And really, I have 3 avatars in my mind right now as I'm talking about this. Ultimately, as we are growing Property Llama, the number one goal out there is to help real estate investors, not just here in Denver, not just in Colorado, but all the concepts we have, they apply nationwide across the United States. We want to help clients go out there and understand how to optimize real estate portfolio. You know that most people don't understand it. So they don't know how to optimize return equity. They don't know about how to reposition assets. They don't know how to do all this. So that is a huge need in the market. So number one, we want to educate and empower real estate investors to understand their portfolio, give them resources and information and the ultimate dashboard out there so they can go out there and make the best decisions for their portfolio to achieve their goals for themselves and their family. Secondly, I have high confidence that Property Llama's going to be successful. Now, take that with a grain of salt, right? I'm a co-founder there. I'm definitely drinking some of the Kool-Aid. Like, I obviously have a lot of excitement about it. Now, it is a venture deal. Like, it's either going to go to, hero or zero. So there's a good chance it can go nowhere, right? That's always a likely outcome of any type of venture deal. So I am cognizant of that fact. But at the same time, like, I feel very bullish about this. I feel very excited about this. And if we can go out there and hit this $1 billion goal, go out there and make this money, well, would I rather make a bunch of like whatever VC fund 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of Silicon Valley, a bunch of money? What do I want to do with like my community members, my fellow investors, the people I see at classes and at meetups and, around town? Yeah, I want us to be on the ride together. I'd rather make a lot of us, the community, the grassroots, a bunch of money than no-name LPs in Silicon Valley. The third is I want to make sure that we really maintain control. I say we, the other co-founders of Property Llama and some other key team members, at Property Llama, at Curtis Street Media, that are really driving the growth of this. Want to make sure we maintain control because I want to help our team members go out there and not just have successful careers, but throw up some big scoreboards so they can go out there and achieve their financial freedom goals as well. And the way we do that is by focusing back on the community, the grassroots. All right. So I could obviously go on for hours about this. I'm gonna start wrapping up here, but you can see I'm extremely excited. I'm excited because, I love this. Also have about 200 milligrams of caffeine flowing through my veins right now. So I'm just very excited about this. So here's my ask. come to the webinar, July 13th at noon. Come watch it, come listen to it, come learn, come inspire, come ask questions, come ask us how we're raising money, how we're doing this. Potentially, we can recruit a couple really talented people on here as well. Now, also, I'm going to drop another couple podcasts before then that will continue to talk more about behind the scenes about, how we're actually doing some mechanics, how we're evaluating the company, who are the key team members behind the scene. So you start getting a better picture on there for your own knowledge and hopefully start replicating that for your success. Hopefully you can go out there and gain insights as well. So thank you so much for listening to this. I'm ecstatic to present this with you, to have you look over our shoulders on here. I am just very grateful for you and everyone in the community, because none of this would have happened without fellow investors, without all these people listening to the podcast, without the thousands of meetings and phone calls and great discussions I've had with other investors and clients around town. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm excited to go out there and share this goal and strive towards this goal and invite you to come along for the ride and look over our shoulder.